My guest today is a singer and former MTV reality star from shows like Are You the One and The Challenge, who knows what it feels like to be seen by millions before truly being understood. Since then, she's reinvented herself through music. Today's conversation is all about identity, reinvention, and finding yourself in a world where people think they know who you are, but they really don't. Welcome to Dare to Overshare, Simone Kelly. What's up, girl?
Hey, Jackie.
Hey, so good to see you.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. I was just telling you off camera, I love the look.
Yes. Thank you.
So good.
Thank you so much. And you know what? I really threw this together today. I honestly did. I was like, I want to do something different and bold, but I didn't know what I was going to do. So I kind of I put it together and it came out well.
You fit in with the vibe so well. Speaking
Everything,
of vibe,
pink.
yeah. Speaking of vibe, let's do a vibe check real quick. So
Okay.
I want to know, how are you feeling truly today, mentally, physically, emotionally, all the things?
Yeah.
When you woke up today, how are you feeling?
Today, actually, I had a great morning today. Yesterday, I went to Chance the Rapper's concert last night. He performed at the Hollywood Bowl. So it was amazing to meet him after the show and to go hang out with him at the club. And we had a really amazing time and just politicking in the city and getting to meet people. So that's typically what my life looks like, whether I'm posting it or not. I'm outside meeting people and making connections and just trying to get people to recognize me for the artist that I am today outside of, my past history with MTV.
Yeah, and that's actually, we met at an event randomly, and I was just looking at you from across the table, and I was like, she looks so familiar. I've seen her before. I couldn't place it in the moment, but I knew that I had seen you. And so it's just funny how the world works, and it's here you are today. Now we're sitting here and talking.
Yes,
I love that.
I love it.
So speaking of you being on TV for so many years, what parts of you never made it on camera? Because everything is heavily edited, right? So what parts of you feel like kind of never actually got to be seen?
Probably just how multifaceted I am. I wear so many different hats. One day I'm in front of the camera, another day I'm behind the scene working in production. The next I'm working with a college fair and trying to get kids to join HBCUs like I did. I feel that when you are trying to work in entertainment on a professional level, a lot of people feel like you have to just do one thing, and you can't. It's literally you will not make money in this if you are not doing multiple things and putting yourself in multiple situations. So I think that that's what a lot of people didn't get to see on the show, because I was Queen Pop Off, you know what I mean? I was cursing everybody out and popping shit the whole damn show. So people didn't really get to see, I feel also my soft side, I'm such a reactive person, and I'm a Pisces, so I'm emotional as shit, So I think that that's what a lot of people didn't get to see, my vulnerability and just how good of a friend, and I'll show up and help, and sometimes I'm not getting paid, but I'll literally invest my time, and when I believe in people or I want to help them. So that's what a lot of people don't get to see, I think.
Do you think that people didn't get to see it because of the way that it was edited, or do you think people didn't get to see it because you didn't express those sides of yourself when you were in those situations?
I think it was a little bit of both. We do have producers when we're doing shows, and they're really orchestrating the bullshit most of the time behind the scenes. So it's a little bit of both. Also, at that time when I first started doing reality TV, I was so young. It was my first time ever on television. I didn't know that that shit was a social experiment, basically. We didn't have our phones. We didn't have TV. We didn't have fucking coloring books or magazines. I didn't know what was going on in the world. When we found out Robin Williams died, I cried. I was like, he's dead? He's one of my favorite comedians. And it just blew my mind, how out of touch of the world I was. So when you don't have things distracting you, your emotions are really high. People are like, how the fuck did you fall in love with John in 3 days? I'm like, you don't understand. When you have a phone, 24 hours is a week. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that unrealistic situations that were put in that you get realistic reactions. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I don't fucking like this bitch, I'm not about to be in having breakfast with her and lunch and going out kicking it with her, but it's my job, so I have to be around her. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of that unrealistic situations with realistic reactions. But I do believe that I played a role in not being able to show those sides of myself as well, because I just was young. I didn't know any better.
Yeah, and I don't think us watching on the other side of the screen who have not been on reality TV, I don't think we can truly ever understand what it's like to not have your phone, not be able to call your parents or your loved ones or your friends, not have a book, not have anything. You don't even probably have music, right?
No.
So
all of that, like, sync licensing and shit happens after we film. So when we're like turning up, they're like telling us, yeah, turn up. And we're like turning up to no fucking music. So the shit is weird as hell. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, and that's why I think that when people go and comment certain things after watching somebody on reality TV and they want to be little keyboard warriors and say like, I can't believe you acted like this. Put yourself in that situation and see what happens, right? Like you said, it's a social experiment.
Yeah.
It's like, it's real life, but it's also not real life.
It's not.
Right? And so I just want everybody listening who, if you've ever written a negative comment online to anybody on a reality show, regardless of what they've done, just remember how difficult that it may be.
Yeah.
And then after the show, when you get off and you see all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
How do you deal with all of that?
It's a combination of, what I will say is, when you go back home and you watch these things, it's like an emotional roller coaster, because most of the time you probably have filmed this like 5 or 6 months prior. So now that it's you've like dealt with the emotions and the bullshit and everything that you felt in those moments, you're like over it. You know what I'm saying? Then it comes on TV and it's like those emotions come right back as if you were still there and like you're in the moment itself. And then the people watching it at home too, they're seeing it for the first time when it's like, yeah, me and Shanley got into it like 6 months ago. Now we're talking on the phone every day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you think that we're beefing still and you hate me because of what's going on TV, but it's like, we've already moved past that. You know what I mean? So I think that also is like the hard part of it. You've like moved past the emotion of what's happened and now it's just being brought up. And then
it's like a time capsule.
Yeah, it's so weird, you know? And then a lot of times too, also like fans, they forget that we're human beings and like we have a life. So like people would find my grandmother on Facebook and like find my mom and say crazy shit to them and, oh, I hope your daughter dies. And it's just like, from a fucking reality show because I threw a drink in Thomas' face. Like, really? You want me to die?
People do that? Like they actually found your grandma and mom?
No, they would.
That's crazy.
Literally find my family like on Facebook. So now I like make my Facebook private too because I just don't even trust it, you know, and it's just, my grandma's older. She doesn't even know, like, she doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like, leave her alone. So stuff like that.
So what did doing reality TV for so long, what did that teach you about human nature that maybe you didn't realize about people before?
I would say that's a good one, Jackie. One thing I will say is alliances aren't real, you know, which is something that's, I guess you can take that in real life too, where a lot of times people agree on things or you make an agreement about things and then they'll go behind your back and then vote your ass into the gauntlet. Or, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, we just talked. You told me you were not voting me in. You promised me you wanted my vote for your vote. You know, all of this, like all of that, like when money will make people do crazy things. That it will make them like lose all morality. It will make them go back on their word. Like money, when you put money in the mix with things and competition, like you have no alliances. I think from years of watching the challenge, it has just taught me that even people that you think are like, oh, they're best friends, they would never like, no, it doesn't matter.
And so has that translated to just your real life? Like after the show, were you more cautious about the types of friends you have, or like maybe promises that people give
Absolutely.
you? You were like hypersensitive to it?
Absolutely. Especially because my last season, I had got into like that physical altercation with Shane, and we both got sent home, even though he hit me first. And it was like all of like this weird energy around the whole situation. That situation just really let me know that you can't really trust people, because I genuinely thought that like we were like best friends in the house. And like all of this like stemmed from me asking him to grease my scalp, which is a normal Black thing. Like we Black women, our hair gets dry. We need moisturizer in our hair. And I washed my hair, asked him to grease my hair. And mind you, he's in cosmetology school. So you do hair and makeup. And he's like, oh, that's a hygiene thing. And I was just like, what? It was just the weirdest thing to me. Like, you're from New Orleans, you're twerking, you love Black culture, everything is bitch this, bitch that, and like, you act like you down. But then it was like, that just was like, whoa, this is how you really see me? Like, I'm not touching your hair. That's a hygiene thing. Like, what's the difference between my hair and your hair? There is no difference. Like, they're hair follicles. I'm confused. So, stuff like that was just like, wow, like, here it is, someone who I thought was like one of my best friends in the house, and this is really how you see me. You don't even see me as an equal, to you. So it was kind of hurtful, and it makes you like not trust, And when I did get called to ask, if I wanted to do another season after that, it was like a few years after everything died down. I said I would never do another reality show again, and then they asked. And I was like, let me think about it, But ultimately, I don't think it was for me anymore, because I don't want to be put in situations where you just see the worst in me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be portrayed as just always the villain, So I just had to like accept the fact that, hey, sometimes you can't change things or situations. You just have to move forward and like leave that where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that situation and so many other situations on reality TV that, like, as a viewer, we see things escalate, but we don't have the whole story.
Yeah.
We don't have all the bits and pieces. We have the very dramatic part and maybe very little explanation behind it. And so, again, I just want to stress, like, we don't know what's going on, and you had every right to feel the way that you felt in that situation. So do you feel like emotionally, like how hard was it for you to kind of be reduced to just this like character? You're now painted as just this character that was in this dramatic situation. How does that emotionally weigh on you as a person?
For a long time, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if I'm being very, very honest, I probably haven't even talked about it like this before, but it was very embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's and to a certain degree, you kind of even feel like you're a failure. Like at that point I had done 4 shows with MTV, so I was like a fan favorite. I kept getting called back because I was good for television. And sometimes when you're doing things that you did not expect, and like God has blessed you with this platform or this opportunity, and you've never had anything this big in your life or career before, you feel like this is it. Not I knew that like I would always do more things outside of reality TV, but in that time and in that moment, it just felt like, I was walking away from my identity, kind of, of who I was introduced to in television in the world as, is like, if I walk away from this, who am I after this? Like, will people still support me? Will people still even care? So it was like embarrassing and just hard to go through that process in general of like knowing that I don't know if this is like where I want to be. I don't like who I am in this space, but I kind of need this space and I need the money and like, all of those different things. And like me and my boyfriend were actually just talking about this the other day about how sometimes in the industry we feel selling your soul is like some fucking Illuminati shit. And it's like, that's not always like what it means. Sometimes selling your soul is literally putting yourself in situations or allowing yourself to be a part of situations that you know you wouldn't normally do it, but because you're like, I need the money, I need the exposure, you know? And it ain't worth it sometimes. It's not, you know? But it was a lot of guilt there and a lot of hurt and embarrassment, you know? So it's still even very hard for me to talk about it sometimes, you know?
Is there something that you've done since then to kind of move through those feelings, whether that be therapy or, you know, maybe you went on a retreat or whatever that is, or talking to your boyfriend about it once a week? Like, what is it that you have done, if anything, to kind of heal from that?
Well, therapy. Yeah, for sure. I've definitely been in a lot of therapy. And I also feel like forgiveness, you know, literally, I'm sorry, forgiving, producers who may have had a role in orchestrating a storyline, or, you know, me feeling like maybe Buna Murray didn't support me the way that I would have liked them to, or, you know, just certain things like my other castmates that may not have reached out to me or asked me how I was doing or laughed at my pain, or, you know, like all of those different things. Just forgiveness, honestly. It's like if I see any of my castmates now, I have a few castmates that I'm still very close to, but, you know, when I run into them, it's like all love, you know. It's at the end of the day, no one knows what we've been through. It's like this dysfunctional family. Nobody knows what we went through except for us, you know, so we'll always have that bond. And I've just learned to just forgive and move forward. Honestly, that's the best thing that I can honestly say about it.
That's such a beautiful thing. Not only to forgive others, I think that forgiving others is so healing, but also forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to feel a certain way. I always say this with a past relationship that I had that like wasn't that great. After I ended that relationship, I was embarrassed that I allowed certain behaviors because I thought I was better than that. I knew better than that. I thought I had healed. Like I almost had like this moment of blindness. And so maybe like 6 months after it ended, I just remember a moment where I finally forgave myself, not him, but myself. And I was like, oh my God, I think I'm healed, like actually healed now, because I forgave myself because I was so embarrassed that I was in that. So I love talking about forgiveness because it's so important to forgive other people because it heals you. But then it's like, what about yourself? It's okay to forgive yourself. You know?
And that, honestly, that's the one right there, because like I said, a lot of embarrassment and a lot of guilt and a lot of like, you know, when I see some clips, or like my boyfriend, like we were literally just watching TV the other day and the challenge, like Rivals 3 was on television. And I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck? And we just like watched it for a minute. And the old me would have been like, no, like turn that shit. I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to be reminded. Like all of that, you know what I mean? And it was just so light. We watched it for about 10 minutes. We laughed. It was like, I was like, oh my God, I was so skinny. You know, and I'm like, had that little moment. And I was like, my hair was cute. And, you know, and we moved on, you know, like that let me know that, I'm actually like healed about it. I forgive myself. I can move on because I'm not even thinking about it anymore.
That's
in that
so
way.
Cool when you're like not bothered by it anymore.
Yeah.
That's the exact moment that you know you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
That was just a version. That was a past life. How many times have you actually watched yourself back on all the different shows between The Challenge and Are You the One? Like, how many times have you rewatched those things?
It's so funny because if I meet someone, like if I'm like out with my friends or something, and my friend's like, oh yeah, this is Simone, she was on MTV, and like da 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 da, and they say some stuff like that, and I'm like, wait, you're on MTV? What show? And I'm like, oh, I watched that show. Wait, you were on the first season? Hold on, let me go back. And then they're doing it in front of me. I'm like, oh my fucking God, you know what I'm saying? So that happens a lot, you know. And then I'm like, okay, y'all, like, y'all got about 5 or 10 minutes on this shit, and then you can go watch this at home on your own time. You know what I'm saying? So that's like how it usually happens. So honestly, more than I would like, I'm gonna be honest. Probably more than I would like, but
That's funny.
That happens kind of often.
Is there, like, when that happens though, is there a specific episode or clip that you would gravitate towards showing? Like if someone said, "Oh, show me a clip," do you have like a specific one where you're like, "Ooh, I look really good right there"? Or
I usually send them to YouTube. I'm like, go to fucking YouTube, and then they go to YouTube, and the crazy enough, the scene that everyone always goes to on YouTube is the one with me and John in Are You the One? And we're like going back and forth, and he takes off his watch and throws it at the window and shatters the fucking window in the mansion that we're staying at. And he had to go to a hotel that night and stay out of the house. So like that's the clip that everybody always says. They're like, what the fuck? And then when they see him, he looks like fucking Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. They're like, you fucking liked him? Like all my friends like, wait a minute, you fucking like this white boy? Like I'm like, oh my God, like Jesus, like, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't understand, So it's like, they're like, oh shit, yeah, I gotta go watch this when I get home, So it's like always those type of moments.
Isn't it funny though, looking back, whether it's on a show or real life, when you had a crush on somebody like in your past, you're like, what was that?
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
But then I always think about like, well, that version of us, like that version of you, when you were that person, there was something there that attracted you because there was a lesson you needed to learn. There was something you needed to go through. That's what I always tell myself when I look back and I'm like, why was I with that person? That's crazy.
And you know what? I'm going to be honest. Looking back at it now, I know why I like John. I really liked him because he was funny. And I'm goofy as hell. So like, person can like really crack me out of my drawers. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go on there and make me laugh enough. You might get some pussy. No, I'm just playing. But serious. But so, yeah.
Humor is really important, though.
It is. Like, if you don't got a sense of humor, it's like, what are we doing? So which he is. He's a stand-up comedian. And I love stand-up comedy. Being from Chicago, that's our culture. Like, I grew up in that world. So, like, being with somebody who was just cracking jokes and every little thing, like not even trying to, that's like an attraction to me.
No, I love that.
It is.
So looking back at that version of yourself, if you could just kind of picture her right here, what do you understand about that version of Simone now from like the person that you are today that maybe you didn't understand about yourself back then?
Probably at that time, I just used to always manifest I wanted to be famous. Like, as a kid, since I've been 5, I said, I'm moving to Los Angeles. My mom was like, okay. I'm this kid in Chicago, from South Side of Chicago. And I'm like, I'm going to LA. I'm going to live there. I'm going to do this. And everybody's looking at me and like, okay, girl. And I've always known that. I always felt like that. So I think I manifested what I said, but I wasn't specific. I didn't know that you really do need to be specific when your spirituality, when you're talking to God and the things you ask for. It's like, yeah, God will give that to you and he will send that to you, but it may not be the way you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? So I kept saying, I want to be famous. I want to be famous. I want to be famous. And I did. I got to be famous, but I didn't understand that I wanted to be business minded. I wanted to have longevity in my career. I wanted to make multiple streams of income off of it. And I didn't know how to do those things. Like, I didn't know how to maximize on having all of those eyes on me at that time. I didn't have management, or I didn't come from that. Like, everything that I did was out the mud. Like, I'm a fucking only child from Chicago that moved away from home when I was 18 to Atlanta and then to LA. So it was just like, I've just always been like, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to do this for myself, but I just didn't know what that entailed at that time. I just knew, shit, I want to be famous.
It's so crazy how we really can manifest something without being specific, like you said. And then the universe is like, all right, I'm going to give that to you. So you didn't tell me how, why, when, but here it is. And then it's like, oh, wait, okay. And then it's like, be careful what you wish for sometimes. But it is really interesting how manifestation works. That's one of my favorite subjects. And I think that manifestation is so interesting because it can come in such beautiful, positive ways. And then you can also manifest bad. You can manifest bad health. You can manifest bad relationships because like your thoughts, your words create. So yeah, it's just such a interesting subject.
It is. Because like when I really think about it, I'm like, I always said that. You know, as a kid, as a teenager, I just knew I was going to be famous. I didn't know how. I went to school for theater, so I have a theater arts degree. You know, I thought it was going to be acting, and I've done movies and short films and stuff like that, but I didn't know what was going to take off. I've just always been a singer, dancer, actor, and writer. That's always been me. So I didn't know how, but I knew I was going to be famous. And then when reality TV hit, it was like, oh, this is me. Like, I'm getting paid to be my fucking self. Like, what more could I ask for? You know what I mean? But I was in the wave also before reality TV really started like taking off for real. And social media was just starting to really like be a thing. And I didn't know like what it would become.
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't know.
So you're a singer, you've been a singer for a while, and that's really like the path that you're taking right now. So do you think that being on reality TV made it harder or easier for you to break into the singing industry?
Way harder.
Harder.
Oh my
That's
God.
Interesting.
Way fucking harder.
Tell me why.
Because when you do music, I've been doing it now for 7 years, like professionally, where I'm like, this is all that I've been doing. And when you're doing it at this level, you start realizing that a lot of people say that they want to do music, but it's a lot that comes with the music industry. It's very political. It's very different from television. And people that are like musical geniuses that are really great at what they do, it's like they do it at such a high level and a seriousness and kind of obsession. You know, you kind of have to be obsessed with this shit. If you're not like that, it's like people aren't going to even take you serious. So in the beginning, when I was just like learning and figuring it out, and, you know, it was like a lot of people wouldn't help me, even friends that I knew and I had personal relationships with that had hits and was producing and for Tinashe and doing all these different things. They were like, yeah, like, let me know when you know, hit me up, you know, all of that. Like, yeah, we'll link. Never link. Yeah, I'll send you some stuff. Never send beats. Like, all of that, you know, you deal with a lot of that because people want to know if you're really serious about it, because it is a very serious business. It really is. And it's like, if you're doing it at a play level, it's like, don't even waste your time. This ain't the industry to play in. It's too expensive.
Right.
Very
yeah.
expensive.
So do you think that because you were on those shows, people thought you weren't serious about music, that you were just trying to do some hobby?
Yeah. They're like, oh, you know, a lot of times reality TV stars are like, start trying to rap or do different things. And they're like, oh, you're just one of those girls that now want to make a song and start doing music. And it was like, no, like, I'm really trying to learn this craft and I'm trying to like, you know, be a perfectionist in it, you know, because everything that I do, I feel like I won't even attach my name to it or do it if it's not at a certain level. It's just have to make sense, you know, in anything that I do or I'm a part of. So when I knew I was going to do music, I'm like, I got to give it my all and I got to be serious and take it serious because there's so many people that's been doing it for so long already. So it did take me a long time for people to start really believing in me and being like, okay, I want to help you, you know. It did. It took a while.
Yeah. So how many years do you think, like, post being on the challenge, do you feel that people were like, okay, she's actually pursuing music seriously?
Maybe about 3 or 4 years. You know, I'll say about 3 or 4 years. Because also, too, I was very scared. I was still like half in, half out of making that commitment because my ex at the time, when I decided to start working on music, my ex is a director and was like, you know, like, what? Like, I don't date artists, you know? And I was like, what does that mean? You know? So you don't want me to do what I want to do because that's not what you see for your partner?
Yeah.
Like, that's weird as shit,
That's
you
why
know?
he's your ex.
Well, it's a girl.
That's why
she's my ex. But yeah, you know, so like stuff like that. Like, it was just like, okay, you're a weirdo. Like, you don't even support me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is weird. Like, so you know, in situations like that, it started making me be a little less confident in myself about it because I was like, oh yeah. Like, I remember one day I was joking and I was like, yeah, my friend Anka, she's going to give me voice lessons and like da 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 da. And she was like, thank God. And I was like, bitch, what? Like, you know, we got into a whole fucking argument about that. It was just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm trying. Like, I'm taking the steps to really do better and like find my voice. And you're just shitting on me every way, every which way. It was fucking weird. Like, are we in competition or are we in a relationship? What is this? So, yeah, I was very like not confident in the beginning because I was in that relationship for so long. My ex really had a hold on my confidence and, you know, would say mean things to me like, oh, you ain't shit but a reality star, bitch. And like, like when we would get in arguments. And it was just like really would tear me down. It would be very weird behavior. Like, do you like me? Like, you say you love me, but do you like me? Like, this is weird, you know? So I wasn't confident in the beginning. So it took some time. Honestly, that's when I started getting confident in it and like really not worrying about what other people think and just putting my all in it is when I had noticed things start to change.
How did you build the confidence up? What did you do?
Doing stuff every day. I'm going to be honest, what I gave myself a goal. So at this time, after that relationship, you know, I had like became a housewife kind of and all of that. And that wasn't working for me anymore. And I was just like, okay, I don't like the way my life is looking. I was like 115 pounds. Actually, take that back. I was 100 pounds. I was skinny, like sticks. My mom thought I was on drugs. She was like, what's going on? But I was just depressed in a horrible relationship. And she was like, you need to get it together. Like, I don't know what's going on, but you need to get it together. I left LA, became a flight attendant. I was like, fuck entertainment. I need to do some regular job. This fucking entertainment shit is just too much. So I went to go get a job as a flight attendant, and that allowed me to be able to fly back here, though. I was based in Las Vegas, and I was still fly. It was a 45-minute flight. Fly here, stay with friends, work on music on the weekends or my off days. And I started giving myself a goal. I was like, I'm going to write one song a day. One song a day, whether it's trash, whether I keep it, whatever, but I got to get it out because I just have to keep practicing and keep practicing and keep practicing. And me writing one song a day just started turning into like, okay, well, the songs actually ain't that bad. You know what I mean? Like, they're pretty fucking good, you know? And I was talking about what I was going through. It was my therapy. It was how I started getting over my ex because we had this break up, get back together type of thing. And I just could not get out of that cycle with her. And I was like, I started writing music about what I was going through. And honestly, that's what really gave me the confidence to just move on because it was like, I've put it all on paper. I've put it on, you know, the record. The art is out there. Like, it's fine. Like, move on.
That is so therapeutic to write. It's like journaling, but you're just making songs.
Yeah.
So what emotions are easier for you to write in a song than they are maybe for you to talk about out loud? Is there anything where you're like, I got to just make a song. I can't talk about this?
Honestly, I'm a sad girl at heart. Like, even my boyfriend, like now, because, you know, we write all of my music together. And like, when I first started working with him, I would just be writing all of these, like, you ain't shit ass records. And he's like, all right, like, you're past that. Like, you're happy now. You're not in fucking, like, like, you're not in this cycle of, like, depression and love. Like, you're talking like you're a scorned woman and you're fine, you know? So I'm like, okay, you're right. So now I'm like, I try not to write, like, so like, my records now reflect how I feel now and, like, the emotions and stuff that I'm going through. But every once in a while, when I have a moment or he pisses me off, then yeah, I write a sad song.
So that's interesting. So when you write, are you writing from an emotion that you're currently feeling? Or sometimes do you pull from emotions that maybe you felt 5 years ago, but you're like, that would be a fire song. So I'm just going to pull from that.
Yeah, it's a combination of both, honestly. Sometimes I write about what I'm going through, and then sometimes I write about an old situation that was just either funny or like, oh my God, the nerve of this motherfucker. Yeah, let's write about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, it's a combination of both, really. It is.
When you write about something that had happened prior, like let's say you have to get yourself into an emotional state to kind of remember how that felt, do you actually feel those feelings when you're writing and recording? Like, are you kind of like putting on an act?
No, I really do go into those emotions. Like sometimes, like, I'm the type of person, I'll go back to our old text messages. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck did they say to me? And I'm like, yeah, you know, like, yeah, I got to be very specific sometimes too, you know, like when you have those specific situations and you're like super detail oriented, it's just the songs even feel different. You know that it came from such a real place because it's like, oh, this is just too detailed. You know what I'm saying? So I love that type of shit.
That's funny. So you keep your old text just so that you could go back for the emotions.
Yes.
That's
and just
funny.
in case when you hear the song and you might have something to say later, I can just, screenshot if I need to.
You have the receipts.
Yeah, I got the receipts for the Twitter beef.
I'm like, reality Simone is still here.
I got the receipts, okay?
What do you think is your biggest improvement in music writing and recording from when you first started? Like that first day you wrote your first song versus now?
My tone, my confidence, and those are the most important things, honestly. And my pockets. Let's say that. Let's not forget that. My pockets, a lot of times people just write songs that are like A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, just on the beat, but those A, B, C, D, E, and like, you got play with pockets, like go in and out of like parts of the beat, like don't just stay on the beat the whole time. So
I know that my boyfriend's behind the camera right now recording this, and I know he's enjoying this conversation because he's trying to teach me about that and just to kind of get me understanding it and like the pockets and this and that, because I do music like kind of just for fun, right? Okay. It's just like a creative outlet for me.
Come on, Jackie.
And so I know he's back there like, yeah, that's what I keep telling you. I know he's thinking that right now.
Yeah. It's the pockets. Like that's what makes us the difference between just a song and a hit record. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, that's a hit record. Like that's a record, when it's memorable and it has a pockets that you've never heard before, or you're like, there's many songs that there is in the world. Why haven't this been done before? You know what I mean? Like that's fucking dope. It blows my mind every time. I'm like, this is my favorite song. And then fucking 2 weeks later, I'm like, okay, no. This is my favorite song. And then next week I'm like, no. This is my favorite song. It's like, girl, they're all fucking good. Just shut up. So, but
that's funny. That's me too, though.
Yeah, it's like, girl, you're gonna, and you, it's like, that trips me out too. It's like, we can have a favorite song or a favorite something, but like, do we really? You know what I mean? Like, creativity and stuff, it just never ends. Like, it gets better and better and better and evolves, and it changes so much that I'm learning to accept things for what they are in the moment and not worry about trying to like beat the next thing. And I think that a lot of times in my life, I was always worried about beating the last moment, or like, damn, I just did this 6 months. It's hard for me to even live in what I'm doing because I'm like, okay, what am I doing next? What am I doing next? What am I doing next? And sometimes it's like, slow down, live in the moment, maximize on that moment the best way you can before you're moving on. And music is starting to teach me that, because you can keep going to single to single to single to single, but it's like, if you're not marketing the ones that you already have, it doesn't even make sense to keep going to the next things and the next things, So I'm learning to appreciate the art, in this phase of my music career.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like you said, just kind of slow down and be in the moment. And I think it's hard in this day and age with social media and all the pressures from society to like be the next best thing and hustle culture, and you got to do the next one, and you just don't slow down. And it's so beautiful to just slow down and just work on the craft and just appreciate what you have and be grateful. And also, how cool is it that you could look back at like an old version of your music or whatever, or an old episode of yourself and be like, look how far I've come, right? Do you feel like you're just this new butterfly?
I do. I genuinely just feel like this is probably the most like calmest and happy that I've been in my life in a long time. I don't know what it is, but I just feel more just so confident now. And not like that old confidence of like, oh yeah, my hair is done, and like, but the confidence of like, I know who I am. Like I know who I am, what I'm willing to accept, what I'm not willing to accept. Like I know my boundaries, like a lot of times I used to be so focused on trying to tell a person my fucking boundaries and making a person do this. And it's like, you don't have control over nobody but your fucking self, So only thing I can do is control this right here. Yeah. That's all I can do, And as long as I'm managing this well, everything else is gonna fucking flow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that comes with time, age, maturity. Yeah. For me, I know that I'm in my 30s. Like when I hit 30, I think I had like this pivoting moment where I was like, so much stuff that I thought mattered does not matter.
Yeah.
And now so many things, what matters to me now is so different than what mattered to me 10 years ago. Like I'm closer to 40 than 30, you know?
Yeah.
So now my priorities are completely different. And it's like, yeah, you still want to look cute and have your
Yeah.
hair and and have all the material things that make you happy. But what's really important, right, is just like joy, being around the ones you love, creating, living, enjoying, you know? So I love that you said that you can just like work on a song now and just slow down and just work on that piece. Yeah.
And now I'm also too working for other artists too, you know, and I'm in my songwriting bag. And that allows me to be able to even take the back seat because I'm okay with not being in front of the camera all the time. It allows me to take that back seat and to help people around me that I believe in and that I love. And I'm like, I see what you're doing, but let me help you to like tweak it a little bit and make it a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like Beyonce has like 6, 7, 12 writers on songs sometimes. And people will be sitting up talking about, I don't want to work with a writer. And it's like, well, you're probably going to be doing records that only you and your friends are going to be listening to because you need the opinions and the voices of other people. Like you can't just do this shit like, oh, I'm just going off what I think and what I want. And that's just not reality. And you have to find other ways to make money in this because streaming ain't making you no fucking money. You gotta write, you gotta sync licensing. Like you have to put yourself in them type of situations to start seeing like this is a fruitful career. You know what I mean? So I think that that's another thing too. Like my songwriting aspect of it is allowing me to still be present in music, but I don't have to be in front of it all the time.
Yeah, that's a good point though. I want to talk about supplementing income, right? When you're in this industry, I totally get it, right? I have a podcast.
Yeah.
Money's not coming in hot, but I'm sure it will, right? So in the moment that you're doing these creative things, you got to supplement if you want to live in this 3D world, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of touched on some of the things that you do to supplement that income. So for anyone who's like trying to be an artist and they're worried about money or they have a 9 to 5 and they're balancing that with it, like what's your advice with being able to still make some money while you pursue your dreams?
I would say every job that I chose to do while still working, you know, on this journey to be a creator full time is I still managed to work in career fields that was still in entertainment. I never steered away from that except for being a flight attendant and like a few other jobs too, but those still benefited me to do music. Like being a flight attendant allowed me to be able to fly for free. So I can go record in Texas with this producer and go to LA to go record with this engineer and like, you know what I mean? Like it put me in those type of positions to do those things. And also even with production, like I just got off Kevin Hart and Kenan Thompson's show, Good Sports. We worked on that show for 3 months from December to February. My mom and Bryso came to visit me at work and, you know, all of that. But I'm grateful that I get to allow them to have those opportunities with me too and share those moments. But yeah, I'm behind the scenes, you know, like I'm wearing black and got a walkie-talkie on my hip. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, I still, although I may not be in front of the camera, it's like, it's okay. Like, I'm still in the space where I'm making money in the field that I do want to do. And because I write, eventually I'm not going to want to be singing in front of the camera all the time. You know, I'm going to want to write and direct and all these different things. So everything that I'm doing still aligns with that theater arts kid that graduated from Clark Atlanta. Like it's still that. It's all in the same field. So I always tell people, don't steer too much away from what you want to do. You know, I have a friend that also, I have a friend that works on music now in Texas and she's a psychologist. And she's like, dealing with people's issues every day and then I have to go be creative and write music, it's like it's starting to become overwhelming. You know what I mean? And I can see that. I'm like, I can see how that could be overwhelmed and listen to people's problems all fucking day, and you got your own problems. So, you know, do things that are in the field, because sometimes working in a different field will take you in places that you don't really want to be, and it prevents you from like really focusing on the creativity.
Yeah, I love that advice. I think that that's great because, yeah, like you said, we need money, we need to work. So if you're not making money on your current passion and dream right now, the next best thing you could do is work a job that will provide you the tools and the knowledge and the exposure and the experience for what it is that
and
you
the
want.
relationships.
Yeah, networking, right? And if you don't have the opportunity to work in the field, and you, like you said, the psychologist who wants to be a singer, you know, you can start making steps to like, how can I do that eventually? Maybe you don't quit tomorrow, but you like kind of formulate a plan.
And I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of old school in that way, because all of my mentors, you know, I'm a millennial, so all of my mentors are like that generation before me of like, they didn't really have social media. I still know what it's like to have a house phone. Like, you know, I'm still that generation. So a lot of people forget that. Email people.
Yeah.
When you're watching these shows, why do you think there's credits? You don't just watch the credits just to watch it. If you see that, hey, there's something that I would like to do, and I see that this person produced this, which is someone who puts the whole thing together and, you know, works out the budget and all of those different things. And you're like, shit, well, I do events in my city. You know, I put on events in my city. Maybe I could produce a TV show. Look who the producers are. Find their emails. Send them a nice email. My whole thing is always like a real gem. I literally always, every opportunity that I have gotten, I've always reached out to someone. And I've just been like, hey, my name is Simone Kelly. I'm da-da-da-da. Put the humility, all of that. It's like there. No project is too big or too small. Please let me know if you need any help. I would love to help. And then you never know. People are like, shit. The next weekend, they're like, I need people. I don't know who to find. And damn, that girl just emailed me.
Yeah.
Let me see. Literally, that's how I've gotten so many opportunities. That's how I met my mentor, you know, Stacey J. Johnson. Shout out to Stacey. She's the host of Put a Ring on it on Oprah Winfrey's network. But I've been with her since I was like 21, 22. She's a dog in this shit. Like, she's rebranded, reinvented herself millions of times. Like, but she's always taught me that, like, you show up early, not on time, be the last one to leave. All of those type of things show people like, oh, their work ethic. If you have great work ethic, then people don't mind keeping you around. They don't mind helping you or putting money in your pocket because they're like, you're valuable and you're like indispensable. You know what I mean? So those are the real things that I can really tell people.
That is so true, because I always say this to people as well. My favorite jobs that I've worked so far, favorite meaning maybe they paid me the most, or maybe I just enjoyed what I was doing, or the people were awesome, whatever. Favorite top jobs that I've gotten, I did not apply to, like on LinkedIn and Indeed. Now, I've gotten jobs from applying, right?
Yeah,
too.
I have to,
But my favorite ones are the ones where somebody thought of me, or somebody reached out to me, or I met someone and they like hit me up later. And that is because when you are like friendly and you're likable, I always say skills can be taught. You can teach someone skills. You can teach most people skills, but you can't teach someone how to be a nice, friendly, warm person.
Or work ethic.
Yeah.
Because some people just lazy.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I want to do this, but they don't want to do the fucking work.
Yeah, and then you find that out after.
You find that out real quick too. You can spot them out immediately. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you say you want to do this, but you're on your phone the whole time that you're here. You're not even living in the moment. You're not even utilizing the opportunity that you have right now. You're in the room with this person. They've worked on this show, and you're just like on your phone all day. I'm talking to them. Oh, you're married. Oh, okay. How many? You guys got kids. Oh, where are you from? Like, you get to know these people. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times people get in their heads, I think, and they're like, they see things as so far. They're like, how do I get that? How do I get that? And I'm like, look at the fucking credits. You know, you got to go back to old school. Like, when albums came out, we didn't know who the fuck were on albums until we got the album and opened it up and read the credits. Like, oh, this person wrote this. Oh, this person did this. He was the photographer. He was like, we didn't know who these people were, but you got to go back to that like mentality. You know, people have to really start going back to that. They just want to DM and shit. It's like, don't just DM these people. Like sometimes that works, but like people, especially if they're busy and they do this shit, they get DMs all the time.
And like you said, if they're a little bit of an older generation, they are not as on socials as us and below.
No.
You know what I mean? So if you're like millennial and below, like, or younger, maybe social media is fine. If you're millennial and above, you probably want to send that email.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need to send a mail like in the mail.
Yeah, but you need to send that email.
Yeah. That's great advice. So what do you define as success, right? Some people think success is a certain amount of money. Some people think when I win a Grammy, that's success. What is it for you?
That damn Poppy.
I give my guests bubbly drinks and then they got to burp. It's fine. I'm a burper too.
What would I say? Okay, ask me the question again. I'm sorry.
What do you define as success? Like for you personally, what is success?
Okay, for me, I would say I'm already successful. You know, anything that I do more is just a icing on the cake. And honestly, the reason I feel that way is because of my mom. Like my mom is my biggest fan. And I forget a lot of the shit that I've done over the years because when you're in this hustle and bustle of like just trying to make things happen and make things work, you do forget that you've done so much because you're always looking for the next moment. And I feel like, so I had heart surgery in 2012. I was born with this condition called SVT. And I had an ablation procedure where they went in through my groin area up to my heart and froze the circuit so I could stop having these crazy heart palpitations. And before I went in for that surgery, it was like the first real surgery I've ever had. I never really had broken bones and like none of that type of shit. So I was like, I had a conversation with my mom and I was like, if I died today, right before I went into surgery, I told her, I said, if I died today, I want you to know that I lived an amazing life. I've traveled the world. I've done more than most people have done in their entire lives. I've went to college. I've got a degree. First person to graduate from college in my family. You know, all of these different things. Like, I was like, I'm okay. And I want you to know that I'm okay with how this turned out, however it may be. I'm okay. And she like broke down crying. I was like, don't say that to me. Don't say that to me. And I'm like, but it's the truth. Like, you know, and I think that's when I had that realization moment that no matter what happens, and that was before I had even been on television, you know? So it was like, at that moment, I was successful. You know, I had already done amazing things. And it was like, and I was so young. And for me to feel that way at 22, it was like, I'm okay. Like today, I can still say the same things. If I died today, I would feel very successful. I've helped people, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that I forget that I have even helped. And they'll come up to me and they're like, oh my God, remember when you did it? I'm like, no, I don't. Because I didn't do it to remember, honestly. You know what I mean? I also smoke a lot of weed and have a horrible memory. But, you know, I mean, I don't remember a lot of shit that I do for people because I'm just such a in the moment and I just genuinely want to help and see other people succeed. I'm not stingy with my resources, you know, all of those things. Like that's just the type of person that I am. So I feel like I've done enough in my life and others' lives that I'm definitely successful for sure.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that answer. It felt very inspirational and motivational. If you could say one thing to like, if everyone in the world was listening right now, all however many billions of people that there are in the world, and they were all tuned in, that would be cool. I'm manifesting that.
Yeah, we're manifesting that.
But if you knew they were all listening and you could just say a message, like what would that be?
Give yourself grace. You know, a lot of the times I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves that we forget that we're fucking human beings, even to ourselves. And it's like, we just put so much pressure on what we should be doing or worried about what we're not doing that we don't live in the moment a lot of time and appreciate just where we are and understanding that it could be a lot worse, because for some people, there are people that it's a lot worse. They have harder things to deal with. So I would say give yourself grace and don't feel like just because something may not be happening for you right now, delayed is not denial.
That's great. Yeah. So what are you still, let's say, working on, whether it's personally or professionally, right? That even though you feel very good where you're at and you feel that success and you're in the moment, like what are some of those goals personally or professionally that you feel you're like, oh, I can't wait for that thing to happen for me? We're manifesting right now, so you can
I'm manifesting right now. I would say, the thing that I feel like I'm manifesting most right now is probably just having a hit album. Like, I feel like I'm just, sorry.
It's the Poppy. Sponsored by Poppy, not really, but maybe they will. We love you, Poppy.
We love you, Poppy. So I would say, probably, having a hit album.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I feel like I've just gotten to that place where I'm like, I know who I am as an artist, and I know like my sound, and I know the direction that I'm going in, and it's sticking. And like last night, even when I went out and I just ran into random friends that I haven't seen in a while, sometimes you feel like people aren't watching or they don't know what's going on, and they're in tune and they know, and they're like, I like what you're doing, and I see where you're going, and like, stay on that path, like, so those little subtle things let me know, like, the hit album is coming. The hit album is coming. And not just one, because there are going to be multiple ones, because the hits just don't stop, So there are going to be multiple albums. But that's the thing I'm manifesting right now. The hit albums and a role. Like, I feel like I'm going to get a breakout role soon. Like, a role in a series or something that's just going to probably change everything for me. That's another thing that my mom is always like. She's like, you need to get back into your acting, because she's like, I love to see you in that. She's like, I love to see you dance and I love to see you act. And those are the two things that, like, I may not have given as much attention now that I've been focusing on music more.
Sounds like a musical is coming for you.
But that's the thing too. Like, I want to do plays. Like, I want to go back to theater. I'm such a theater kid, and like, I love that shit. Like, I'm walking around the house every day, like, in my own little corner, in my own little chair. I can be whatever I want to be. Like, I just love theater.
This is your audition right now, you guys. All the casting directors out there, she's auditioning.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding.
It. I love the manifestation. So what are you currently working on? I know you have your single, Wet Dreams.
That's the album.
Or that's the album out right now. So are you already working on something new, or are you just promoting the current?
Well, yeah, I'm just going to promote the current album right now. I'm going to give it its just due. And the single that I'm promoting right now is Manyan. So I'll be dropping the video for that soon. It's a really amazing video. I actually got to shoot the video. It was funded through a grant, so that's another thing out there, artists.
Yeah, how did you get that?
Don't be afraid to apply for grants, Do not be afraid to apply for grants. I got a $10,000 grant just, from basically writing an essay. I mean, that's like what you're essentially doing. Those grants are very lengthy and they are time consuming, but it's worth it because it's free money.
I love that. That's great advice.
Yeah. So a lot of times, I'll just like pick a day where I'm like, okay, I'm going to, for 5 hours, I'm looking for grants. I have a little spreadsheet where I write the grant, have the link, the deadline date, my little notes, like, oh shit, my checklist. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to print these papers, these bank statements, or whatever the case may be for the grant. But you get your little checklist, and That's like an amazing way for artists to get money. And a lot of people, they forget about that. They think loans or they got to get a record deal or distribution deal or publishing deal. You can literally get free money just off grants. Just take the time to do it.
That is really, really great advice for any creatives. I don't even know if grants are just for creatives or if maybe other industries, right?
All
They're
industries,
for everything, right?
Nonprofit. So I found out about it because my mom has a nonprofit and she wrote like a grant for like $222,000, which shout out, that's my birthday, 222.
You were born on an angel number?
Yes.
You're such an angel.
I got it tattooed.
Oh, I love it. I have
222.
888 on me.
Hey! So yeah, you know, like it's just in me. You know, I know me, it's in me.
It's great.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. If you had little Simone here, like as a kid, what age do you picture her when you like first think of her?
I started really having my most memories like when I was about 4, like kindergarten. So that whole writing thing, I remember getting in trouble and my mom having to come up to the school because I wrote this boy a note who I've always been a writer, but I wrote him a note because he like dumped me. He was like my little boyfriend and he left me for the new girl. Her name was Jasmine. She used to wear little fur coats. Like daddy was a drug dealer. I mean, now that I know this now as an adult, but back in the day, I didn't know this, but she used to come to school in fur coats and we're like fucking kindergarten. And he loved that shit. And he left me. And I remember writing him a note and leaving it in his desk. And I was like, you're a fucking dog. And my mom, like, when they called the teacher and my mom came up to the school and they were like, yeah, she wrote him this note and showed her the note. My mama was like, I don't know where she gets that from. I don't know why she talks like that. I'm like, oh, you don't. Oh, you don't.
You were 4, you said?
I was like 5. I probably was like 5.
Wow.
I definitely was in kindergarten. I was in I remember specifically, that's like my first memory as like me writing and like, I wrote him the fucking most horriblest note and I was just like, you're a dirty dog. And my teacher was just like, what the fuck? And I called my mom up to the school and my mom was just like, I am so sorry. I don't know where she gets that from. I don't know why she would say that. And I'm like, yeah, you. Probably overheard you and your friends talking.
Shout out, Mom.
Because what 5-year-old knows that?
That's hilarious. Okay, if she was in the room with us right now, that exact version of you, what would you say to her?
I would probably tell her, honestly, I would probably tell her the same things that my mom was telling me at that time. I don't know where I would be without the type of mother that I had because I really was a chocolate girl. And at that time, being chocolate was not cool. You know, it was not a cool thing. And I didn't have a lot of confidence when I was younger because most of the boys wanted the light-skinned girls with the long hair. And, you know, that was just like the thing. So at that time, I used to just... I didn't have I had confidence in my personality, but like behind closed doors, I would like say little bad things about myself or that I didn't feel good about myself. And my mom would just always be like, no, like you're beautiful. Like you're a star. You can do anything you want to do. And like, she's like, you think you look like me and your dad. Like you think your dad's handsome, right? You think I'm cute, right? And I'm like, yeah, I don't look like y'all though. And she's like, you do look like us. What do you mean? You came from us, you know, and all of those different things. But I would probably do the same thing. Like now that I'm getting older and I know one day I'll have children, always build your kids up in confidence. You know, I needed that at that time. And that shaped who I was for the rest of my life. Those were like keen moments where someone had hurt me and broke my heart. And even though I didn't even really know why it hurt me so much, you know, but I was just like, you didn't choose me. But that also just like let me know that I needed someone to remind me that I was special, you know? So if I was talking to my younger self at that time, I would probably do the same thing, you know, remind myself how special that I am and how unique and no one's like me, you know, and that's okay. And because that's what's going to make you who you are, you know, being different and standing out and having that bold personality. That's going to make you who you are, you know.
I love that. What's your favorite unique thing about yourself that you know nobody else has?
I'm a trendsetter. I actually just seen Keke Palmer with my hairstyle the other day, and it pissed me the fuck off. I'm not gonna lie. And I mean, I know it's probably not her. It probably was her hairstylist. But, you know, I do a lot of things that are dope and cool that I may not get credit for. And that's a part of being an influencer, I guess, or a trendsetter. People are gonna just take things that they see you do and they're like, oh, that's cool. And they just do it, you know, without giving you credit. But that's what I would say. I'm a fucking trendsetter. You know, I think that I do things that other people may not do. I dye my clothes. Like, I dip them in purple dye and all type of stuff. Like, it's like, oh, that's a different outfit. Or is that the same outfit? It's like, actually, I dyed it. You know, like, I'm creative in that way of, like, just creating different things. And, you know, I think that that's what makes me stand out.
Yes, and that is why you are Simone Kelly and no one else's. You have been such a pleasure, such a light.
Yes, you too,
I am
Jackie.
so happy that I got to sit down and talk to you about all the things. And I'm so excited for your future. I know
Thank
you have
you.
a bright one.
Thank you.
As bright as you look right now. I know
you.
that's where your future's headed, and I'm excited to just follow along for the journey. So
Well,
thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was really a blessing. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you guys for listening, and we will be back next time.